let's get into some rumors here, Tom. So nothing per se that is 100% true, i.e. this, which seems very interesting. We'll start off with, did a team hire a private investigator to follow around Baker Mayfield in Norman? What is the deal with this?
Three heads on this one because it does seem pretty likely. Sports Illustrated reported it that they were interviewing Baker Mayfield, and then Mayfield got an alert from someone he trusts that he had a tail on it when he was in Norman. Apparently an unnamed NFL team that we're not sure who it is hired a private investigator to follow around Baker Mayfield. NFL teams will go to no length, or will not go to any lengths whatsoever to make it weird when they're scouting their prospects, because they're weird, man. NFL, like, I know you're drafting the future of your franchise, but like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's super strange overall.
It's kind of creepy, to
like,
be honest with you. Let's
it
say
is
what
creepy.
it is. It's
like,
creepy.
It is creepy. I kind of get the perspective, but I mean, you're really gonna hire a PI like to follow him around in Norman? Like, okay,
oh man,
do what you got to do.
So from one odd story to another, Hugh Jackson has declared Tyrod Taylor the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Whether we think this will happen, we're giving it one Goodell head. We think it is very, very unlikely that we can just cement Tyrod Taylor as the starting quarterback in 2018, especially with all the draft capital.
The issue is that he's going to start all year. There is no competition whatsoever. Okay, Hugh, whatever you say, no way this is a smoke screen to say, yeah, we're not going quarterback here earlier. Like, it's just like, okay, like there's no way that I would be stunned if the Browns don't go quarterback number 1 or number 4. Maybe they do want to sit someone out for the entire season. If that's the case, okay, go take Sam Darnold or Josh Allen because they're not NFL ready yet. But to say that Tyrod Taylor is instantly going to be the starting quarterback and there is no competition, I don't get it. Like, it's fine to say he's going to start week 1 because he will, but to say he's going to start all year long, that's the thing I don't like.
And that's the thing. It's March.
I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it. If the Browns fall in love with Josh Rosen and Tyrod Taylor sucks in week 4, they're going to start the rookie quarterback. Yeah. Like, I don't think that's going to happen, but it's foolish and unrealistic to say, yeah, he's going to be our starter right away and for the entire year.
Let's get to note number 3 here. Is Colin Kaepernick returning to the NFL? We're giving this one Goodell head. We think it's pretty darn unlikely, at least for now. But why are we talking about Kaepernick? He was spotted working out in Houston, Tom. Why is it interesting that it was in Houston? Well, we all know the story that came out with Texans owner Bob McNair and all this stuff. But Kaepernick slinging the football around, and there's some video surfacing of him throwing it pretty well.
Look, I think we've reached a point in the NFL world that anyone who thinks Colin Kaepernick is not in the NFL because of his on-the-field production is just naive or deluding themselves. Because Tom Savage got signed. You're telling me that Colin Kaepernick is worse than Tom Savage? We've seen Tom Savage play. Mike Glennon got another contract. Good enough chance that Brock Osweiler also gets signed. Colin Kaepernick can be a backup in the NFL, but the NFL, more or less, and the owners, in reality, have colluded against him. I hope he wins that grievance. Because as far as I'm concerned, okay, you kneeled. Oh, no. If you can be a quarterback in the NFL, look what happened to the Eagles. That's how important a backup quarterback is in the NFL. And you're willing to not sign a good one, if not a great backup quarterback, because he kneels? Oh, no. Like, at that point, it's just foolish roster management.
Yeah.
And that's the issue I have with it, because I don't think it makes any sense to continuously avoid hiring a quality quarterback. Oh, no, because he kneels during the anthem. And oh, by the way, he said he won't do it if you sign him. So let's just get him.
He's working on it. He's working on his conditioning and all that stuff. So at least he has aspirations to return to the NFL. One Goodell head here because we still think it's fairly unlikely that he is going to return. But we do want you hitting us up in the comments section and letting us know this. Is the NFL colluding against Colin Kaepernick? That's what Kaepernick is claiming. Tom, we pretty much heard your thoughts on the matter, and you agree. I
think they absolutely are. Now, proving it is different. You need some type of actual evidence, but right now all we have is the ones that we can look at the situation and say, yeah, this is probably happening. He needs more than that. He needs some type of document that was exchanged between NFL teams, said, yeah, don't sign Kaepernick or something along those lines. So I don't know if he's actually going to win. I hope he does, because he has absolutely been railroaded and blacklisted by the NFL for really what are dumb reasons.
Well, we appreciate the comments, guys. James chiming in. We got Kurt. We got Chris. Everybody throwing in their thoughts. Keep them coming. We do appreciate it.
Chris says his stats don't reflect him being good. So I don't know what stats we're looking at anymore, where Kaepernick is better than at least 60 quarterbacks that are on NFL rosters right now. So
here's my challenge to you, Chris. Scott Tolzien or Colin Kaepernick as your starting quarterback. Hit me up in the comments section. Let's get to note number 4 here. In the rumors, do the Ravens want to sign Eric Ebron? Are they close? We're giving this to Goodell heads. People are most certainly talking.
I think it makes some sense. Baltimore needs a tight end. Ebron, maybe better than what the Ravens have right now. Cam, you're the resident Ravens guy. Would you be okay with this move going down?
I would like it. I would like it, and I know the Ravens are a little strapped for salary cap space right now, but I wouldn't mind it. However, hearing the news about Michael Crabtree, hate to kind of reveal what we're going to talk about later, but the Ravens are looking into Crabtree, and I would rather have him on Baltimore's squad rather than Ebron. I still am.
Why not both? Yeah, money's a thing.
Yeah, there's no way that's going to happen. I'm holding out some hope about Max Williams, Tom. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what he was like coming out of the draft for you, but I think maybe there's promise with him. Nick Boyle has shown some flashes as well. Ben Watson is a free agent. He's going to walk and probably test the open market. So, yeah, Dennis Pitta's always hurt. It wouldn't be a bad move for the Ravens.
I would like it. I saw this in the comments, and it's something we also mentioned earlier on in the show. I think Carolina is also going to be a fit there. He's going to take a visit there. I think you'll see Ebron signed somewhere. I don't know where he ends up going. Look, I kind of thought the Ravens were going to be okay. They took Max Williams in 2015 in round 2, Crockett Gilmore in round 3 back in 2014, and both guys have been riddled with injuries and have not become the guy the Ravens thought they were going to be. I thought Williams in particular could be pretty good, but he's never really shown some of the stuff we saw in college, never really developed in the way the Ravens had hoped. So they've missed on a lot of early round tight ends, and that's a big issue.
All right, so that's the deal with the Ravens and Eric Ebron. How about the Patriots and Danny Woodhead? What do you think about this one, Tom? There's been some rumors.
Of course we're doing this.
We're giving this to Goodell heads. People are talking. Woodhead recently cut by the Baltimore Ravens. Could he reunite with the Patriots? And we have a little Patriots picture right here.
Patriots contacted him, so it's at least in the rumor category. They have James White, they have Rex Burkhead, but they did lose Dion Lewis, and we'll see how long Mike Gillislee hangs around in New England. He was found himself in Bill Belichick's doghouse down the stretch. When he's healthy, he's still a nice third down back. The issue is Danny Woodhead, not always all that healthy. The other team that contacted Woodhead, by the way, was the Baltimore Ravens, or not the Baltimore, the Atlanta Falcons. He was cut by the Baltimore Ravens. Silly me. They have Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman, so I don't know if they really want a third down back, because both those guys can work on third downs. It'd be fun to see him go back to the Patriots, and if it's the stereotypical Patriots MO at halfback, I think the Patriots are going to pass on Woodhead. He'll go somewhere, but it'll be a 1-year very cheap deal because he just can't stay healthy, unfortunately. Yep. Which stinks because he's fun to watch when he's on the field and playing.
Patriots also lost Dion Lewis to the Tennessee Titans. So 2 Goodell heads here with the Patriots and Danny Woodhead. How about this, Tom? Picture this. Cam Jordan coming around the edge, and then Ndamukong Suh on the interior for the New Orleans Saints. Well, are the Saints signing Ndamukong Suh, or are they close to doing it? We're giving it to Goodell heads.
And they're trying, which I applaud the Saints. They're really going all in to win right now while they have the cap space available, because when Drew Brees retires, the Saints cap is in bad shape because they've kept pushing off the dead cap hit further and further down the road. It's all going to catch up to New Orleans at some point, which is fine. That's how it's going to work out. You're willing to sacrifice it in the future because you're trying to win now. You throw Suh on the roster for the Saints. Sheldon Rankins, not Nick Fairley because he's not going to play again. Sheldon Rankins, Ndamukong Suh, and Cameron Jordan. That's fun.
I like that.
That's a fun lineup right there, and that's a really good front four. They added Demario Davis to the secondary. Marshawn Lattimore was incredible. They added Patrick Robinson. The Saints defense, from where we were at the end of last offseason to where we are now, or I should say before last offseason, they have drastically changed themselves into a really bad defense to a defense, especially if they get Suh, that's actually really damn good, and it's going to be terrifying. You add Drew Brees on offense, or you keep Drew Brees on offense, all of a sudden, the Saints are once again back in the Super Bowl discussion. As long as Brees is their quarterback, they're not going away. If they get Suh, it's a really good defense with that.
Tom, I can't tell you how good that secondary already is with Patrick Robinson now coming to town. You got Lattimore and company in that back end. If you bring in Ndamukong Suh, oh my God.
And that's the thing. The Saints defense in general, I think, was primed for some regression. But you go and get a linebacker in Mario Davis who had a great year. You get a guy in Patrick Robinson. That eliminates some of the areas where you could have seen regression. If you add Ndamukong Suh, as long as no one dies and gets super injured, you're going to be okay on the defense. Like, you're going to be
box,
set.
Yeah. All right, so you see all those Goodell heads. You may be wondering what those mean. Let's take a look at our rumor meter scale of believability. 0 Goodell heads, fake news, you're not believing in it. 1 Goodell head, small shred of truth. 2 Goodell heads, people are talking, firmly in that rumor category, like many of the topics we've discussed. 3 Goodell heads, more probable than not that it is true. And then 4 Goodell heads, it is news. Let's get to note number 7 here. Is Marshawn Lynch safe in Oakland? So rumors are suggesting that maybe he'll get cut because Doug Martin got signed. We're saying it's pretty likely, more probable than not. 3 Goodell heads on Marshawn Lynch remaining with the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, sounds like he'll stay. I think John Gruden wants to keep him, and I think they're going to run the ball a lot. Now, I think the key for that is you're not going to see Marshawn Lynch get a ton of carries. I think it'll be, again, around that 200 carry over a year, assuming he plays every game. We'll see what ends up happening there. And we mentioned this earlier. I didn't love the Doug Martin signing because he hasn't been very good. Marshawn Lynch showed a little bit more ability than Doug Martin is. So I think Marshawn Lynch is still your starter, but I think getting Doug Martin gives the Raiders another guy to take some of that workload off of Lynch, because I do think, Cam, I think that they run the ball a lot next year.
He actually wasn't all that bad last season, especially in the second half of 2017. He actually got better as the weeks went on, which is something that I really did not expect because it's Marshawn Lynch. So 2017, 207 carries, 891 yards. There you see the yards per carry average at 4.3. 7 touchdowns as well, so he had a nose for the end zone. Marshawn Lynch, pretty darn good season, all things considered, after a campaign where, was not playing football, essentially. So Martin, meanwhile, not a great last couple of years, so I don't think he's really going to threaten Marshawn Lynch all that much. I still think Lynch is going to be the lead dog. I think the carries will be split, especially with Washington there and Jalen Richard too. So 3 Goodell heads, we think Marshawn Lynch is pretty safe.
Oakland ran the ball 433 times last year. That was right about league average. I think they at least get in the top 10. I think you could see them approach the 470 mark, which is top 5. I think they're going to run the ball a lot next season.
All right, so what is the deal with Michael Crabtree? Is he going to the Baltimore Ravens? Tom, you actually have an update on this. Some news that broke a few moments ago.
Yeah, Michael Crabtree is going to visit the Baltimore Ravens tomorrow on Friday. Cam, if the Baltimore Ravens do their job, he doesn't leave the facility without signing. I think it makes a lot of sense on that end. Baltimore, as we mentioned just a little bit ago on the show, well, they're not going to have to pay Ryan Grant anymore. His contract is null and void because he failed his physical. That frees up the money that the Baltimore Ravens were looking to have, or didn't really have. It gives them more and puts them in position to have a guy like Michael Crabtree, who without a doubt is a better wide receiver than what we've seen in the past for the Ravens, and without a doubt is a better one there. So two heads on this one. Whether or not he's actually going to sign, we don't know yet, but he is going to visit the Baltimore Ravens. I think that's a big potential get for Baltimore. If they get him, that's a massive upgrade for their wide receiver core. And I like the signing of John Brown. He can be a number 2. You have Michael Crabtree. Maybe, Cam, just maybe, Baltimore doesn't go wide receiver in round 1.
They should not go with a wide receiver in round 1, especially if they get Michael Crabtree. We'll see if that comes to fruition there, especially with Ryan Grant failing his physical. Saves a little money for the Baltimore Ravens, and they can spend a little on Michael Crabtree.
Best case scenario for the Baltimore Ravens, because in reality, Ryan Grant was going to be an overpay. He's a slot receiver, an average one at that. I think getting Grant's contract off the books with no money and then bringing in a guy like Michael Crabtree makes a lot of sense. If the Ravens don't get Crabtree, some other teams to monitor. I think the Dallas Cowboys make sense there. The Seattle Seahawks make sense. I think it could be the New Orleans Saints as well, because they've been looking for receivers. How fun would it be, by the way, to have Crabtree go back to the 49ers and be on the same team as Richard Sherman?
Oh, boy.
It'd be fun, man. I don't know if that's what you want for your locker room, but it'd be a lot of fun. Maybe they can make amends, and Sherman will apologize for calling Crabtree a sorry receiver.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome. I'd love to see it.
All right, you see the Niners there. You see the Saints, Seahawks, Ravens, and Cowboys. I'm sure the Cowboys fans out there would get pretty darn excited about Crabtree.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up, Cowboys fans, by the way. I don't think it's going to end up happening.
Okay.
So sorry there for all you Cowboys fans who want your team to sign every free agent that's available. They went for some big swings. They missed so far, which I think really in reality was all they were going to do if they weren't going to, outside of signing some lesser guys, which I think will still happen. But I think Crabtree in Baltimore makes a lot of sense right now.
All right, 2 Goodell heads on Michael Crabtree going to the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to wrap up our segment here with some very sad news. Saints owner Tom Benson has passed away at the age of 90 years old. And Tom, a guy who really everybody loved, somebody who prevented the New Orleans Saints from leaving New Orleans back in 1985. Really instrumental philanthropist as well. So tough to see this man go.
And it's always unfortunate when anyone passes away, and it's especially unfortunate for the Saints and the Pelicans as well, because Benson was also the Pelicans owner. As you mentioned, he did keep the Saints in New Orleans, and very glad that he did.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing to hold an NFL team, and very unfortunate that Benson has passed away. And of course, we send out the condolences and thoughts and prayers to the Benson family and all those who knew him.
All right, so that's how we wrap up our segment here on NFL Daily. Tom Benson passing away, and hearts go out to everybody in the New Orleans community. There's no doubt about that.